Welcome to readtheticker.com. There are two ways to find alpha within our site. The first is to chart the underlying stock versus a benchmark. Here, for example, we have charted the spider sectors versus the SPY benchmark index. In the chart, you can clearly see that the red line has done extremely well. That is consumer discretionary. The black line, representing the financials, have underperformed. What you see in this chart is the performance in percentage terms. Let's look at the performance in alpha terms. Here we have a percentage performance alpha chart. This is achieved by taking the spider sector and dividing it by the benchmark. If you look closely at the symbol headings, you will see XLY : SPY. This is in effect XLY divided by SPY. On this chart, you can see that the red line, consumer discretionary, has been the leader in alpha performance. You can also see on the left-hand side of this chart, when stocks weren't doing so well, that all the money went into healthcare and consumer staples for the flight to safety. You can also see on the right-hand side of the chart a move up in the green line, XLE, or the energy sector. This is on the back of rising oil prices. Going forward, you'd have to consider consumer discretionary and the energy sector as the right place to look for stocks to beat the index and gain more alpha in your portfolio. We have concluded from the last two charts that consumer discretionary sector is the best way to find stocks that are outperforming on alpha. In a sense, we have just looked at the forest. Now we must look at the trees to find the stocks to buy. To do that, we will use our alpha scanner. Just go to the top of the screen and select alpha scanner. This is the second step to get more alpha in your portfolio. Here we are at the alpha stock scanner. As a benchmark index, I've selected the S&P 100 index. It has a few indicators: our trend status tool, and also the percentage of stocks within this index above the 50-day moving average, the 100-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average. It gives me an idea of the underlying performance of the stocks within the index. Now I'm going to assume we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So let's pick a date about the bottom of this low here, the 7th of the 1st of 2010. Remember that date. Below down here we have our table. This is our performance measure of alpha relative to the index. I've selected I wanted to see or study all stocks under or over the 200-day simple moving average for the S&P 100 index. But I want to do this on a particular date. I want to do it on the 7th, the 1st, 2010, right at the bottom of that little sell-off. I do that. This is below here. You see the status of the stocks within the S&P 100 and the alpha performance. Now, as we discussed previously, that the hottest alpha sector is consumer discretionary. So we want to look at consumer discretionary only. So I put that in there and filter upon that. Okay. So at the moment, we have 3 stocks on the 7th, July the 1st, over their 200-day moving average, which is about here on the benchmark index. So if we're going to get a bounce, we want to buy stocks that have a good performance of alpha. So let's have a look at them. Let's sort them first. Okay, so let's have McDonald's. Slow machine I have. This is the date we've loaded in, 7th of 1st. So if I draw a line here, let's have a look. We're assuming we don't know what happens in the future. We can see the trend tool is right at the test moment. We've got a good alpha performance up here. That is, in a sense, the black line is outperforming the red lines. The red line is S&P 100 and the black line is McDonald's. So this is what we want to see. We want to see strong alpha performance, and even when there's a sell-off in the benchmark index, the underlying, i.e. McDonald's, outperforms. So you can see this, the people selling this stock don't really want to sell it. They believe it's going up. And when the rebound came, it went up dramatically. So it went up from 10 or 6 or 7% performance all the way up to 25. So it would have gained 20% on this. That's a good alpha stock. But go back to the alpha scanner. Nike. Now Nike alpha looks pretty good. You'll see the different colours here, dark green and green. The darker the colour, the more aggressive the alpha change. So dark green is good. Let's select Nike. Once again, this is where the date of selection is. As you can see here, the alpha is strong. Even during the sell-off, the alpha holds very well. If you brought around here, you would have been very well rewarded. So if the stock would have gone from 70 bucks to 90 bucks, 15, 16, 17%. The trend tool shows it's mostly green. There's no red there. Excellent. Let's just have a look underneath. So let's have a look at the stocks under the 200-day moving average. See if we can find something there. A bit of a sort. Oh, the old favourite Ford. Let's have a look at Ford. It's been in a rally this year. Here we go. Very, very strong alpha. Bit of a dip here, so it's gone with the indexes. We could expect that. But if you believe Ford would have continued its way when the index has been up, you would have purchased that quite confidently, because here it is above the 200-day moving average. It never really broke that, so that was a winner. So we're still searching through our consumer discretionary. This is because we determined that this consumer discretionary has had the strongest alpha in the last 12 months from our previous study. Disney. I always wonder what Disney's up to. There we go. Put this line on here again. Strong alpha. Very good. Now you see here, because we're assuming we don't know what happens after this date, but if we did purchase this stock, about here we would be a bit disappointed because the stock is only trailing the index equal to alpha, because alpha is really about 1. So really we really wanted to outperform the index. So you would have considered just taking a small profit list and moving the funds into more alpha generating stocks. That's how to get a portfolio that outperforms the index. In the alpha scanner, we also have a measurement of the trend status tool. That's this indicator up here per stock. We have a strength indicator, which is basically the measurement of price distance away from the selected moving average. So here it is. This low here. Low is negative 12% away from the 200 SMA. Right. Another little trick is we've determined that the alpha of these stocks is very good. So what we could do is select these symbols down here, put it into a limiting data set here, turn that on. Okay. And we might change the dates. Let's change the date to 11th the 18th, 2010. And here you see, we might change it to over. Of all those symbols there, only these ones turn up. So it's a good way to maintain, if you have a portfolio of stocks that you're maintaining, and 30 or 50 S&P 100 or Nasdaq stocks or gold stocks or anything like that, you can put them into a group and you can load them into here to make sure you can only get a chance to review the alpha of your selected stocks. We have a quick load feature from the group. So for example, I might choose technology stocks, for example. It loads in all the symbols from my group that I wish to study. So out of all the S&P 100, I've limited my study selection to these symbols. Right. That is, simply put, the Alpha Stock Scanner. Simple, easy to find stocks with high performing alphas, the ability to back scan over previous dates, over multiple dates, offset with different data sets. Thank you very much for watching.